Now, Hamas says its deputy leader, Saleh al-Arouri, has been killed in an explosion in the Lebanese capital, Beirut. He was a founder of the military wing of Hamas and headed the group's West Bank operations. Lebanon's state news agency says he was one of several people killed in an Israeli drone strike on a Hamas office south of Beirut. The area is a stronghold of the group's Lebanese ally Hezbollah, whose leader has vowed to retaliate against any Israeli targeting of Palestinian officials in Lebanon. The country's caretaker prime minister condemned this strike as a new Israeli crime aimed at dragging Lebanon into war. Well, joining me from Beirut is Makram Rabah, who's an assistant professor of history at the American University of Beirut. Makram Rabah, how big a blow is this to Hamas?
Well, it's certainly a very big military and moral blow, because at the end of the day, Hamas was wagering on the fact that Israel will not commit such a strike, especially that they have always been betting on the fact that Hezbollah would retaliate. I think that after October 7, all these red lines have been removed, and I think that the Israeli war cabinet at the moment is only looking at people as potential military targets. And the political decision to eliminate Arouri is only just the tip of the iceberg, because if we follow what was happening the last 2 weeks, more than 15 high-ranking military members of the Arouri Guard have been targeted in Syria. Amongst them is the top chief of Syria, Rida al-Musawi. And I think what we are witnessing now is a new stage in the conflict between Iran and Israel.
Well, Israel hasn't accepted responsibility. I mean, Netanyahu's advisor, Mark Regev, has, for example, said whoever did it, it must be clear this was not an attack on the Lebanese state. Nevertheless, how big a risk is there, do you think, of retaliation now from Hezbollah?
I think Regev gave Hezbollah a way out, because simply from the beginning of the conflict, Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah, has been saying that we don't want an open conflict and that the Palestinians don't really need us. Yes, this might be true, but at the end of the day, this has been a targeted hit in the heart of Hezbollah-controlled Lebanon. And I think that Nasrallah cannot only say and could not brush this under the table and say that Arouri has become another martyr. I think that the timing of the strike on the 4th anniversary of the killing of Qasem Soleimani is just another indication that Israel doesn't really care about American politics in the region. What we are witnessing now is a full-scale open confrontation, and that whatever happens down the road will not be dictated what the White House wants. There's a kind of wishful thinking that Israel would not declare an open war and would not invade Lebanon. What we see with the targeting of Arouri, that all options are on the table.
But if this does lead to a sort of wider escalation of the war now, could this moment be seen as a misjudgment by Israel, do you think?
Well, I think at the end of the day, everything is possible, but the Netanyahu government, or any government that might replace Netanyahu, is well aware that it's an open confrontation that will not end until these key figures, be it Mohammed al-Deif or Sinwar or Arouri, are eliminated. And talking about all of these risks are all what we call calculated risks. The killing of Arouri, unfortunately, is not unprovoked, meaning that Arouri himself has always portrayed himself as a military man, and now his targeting in Lebanon is another reminder that Lebanon's sovereignty is non-existent and that Iran can control access in and out of Lebanon, and that Hamas and its fellow travelers are using Lebanon as just another launching pad.
Just briefly and finally, do you think we're going to look back on this moment as a sort of crucial turning point in the war?
I think that everything after October 7 is no longer important. What happened in October 7 has changed. It is that the fall of the Berlin Wall, so to speak, historically, and everything that will unfold down the road, unfortunately, will include more bloodshed and more destruction for the people of the region.
Makram Rabah, thank you very much for joining us.